Today we're going to look at the very interesting chart of Abdul Kalam, the 11th president of India, revered by many. If you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, the constellation related to Cancer was rising at 15 degrees and 44 minutes. Cancers are a movable water sign. It means they go places, they do things, and they're very sensitive, connected to the emotions of others. We're going to look at how the planets are operating, and then we're going to look at when the planets were operating in his chart. So first we want to determine the nature of the planets. Any sign that is in the 6th, 8th, or the 12th house, any multicorona sign, which is 1, 4, 5, 7, and 9, and 11, the ruler of that sign becomes functional malefic. So in the 6th house, we have the 9th sign. It's ruled by Jupiter. Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. And it becomes functional malefic. And in the 8th house, we find the 11th sign of Aquarius ruled by Saturn. So Saturn becomes also a functional malefic, as well as Rahu and Ketu, which are functional malefic for every chart. No multicorona sign in the 12th house. So all the other planets are functional benefics and cannot cause harm except under affliction in the transit chart. So let's look at each of the planets. Sun is at 27 degrees. And remember, any planet that is more than 25 degrees or less than 5 degrees, old age or young age, becomes weak. So Sun is conjunct with Mercury in the house of entrepreneurial success, self-expression, and so he gives great intellect, but also can affect the heart. Sun is heart, but still, this Mercury gives a boost to that. And Mercury's in its own sign, so even gives better. Sun gives some political success, although it is afflicted by Saturn, which is Saturn is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 houses away, and it's within 3 degrees. So some affliction there. Moon is at 13 degrees, which is close to the... Remember, this rising sign degree becomes the most effective point of every house. So any other planet that's within 5 degrees has some impact. Any planets that are conjunct or aspecting each other within 5 degrees also have some impact. So Moon is at 13 degrees, close to the most effective point. It's debilitated, and it's afflicted by Rahu. So Rahu's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 houses away. So causing some affliction. Moon has to do with life purpose and longevity, and it gives him compassion for other people. But Moon is in this house of children, so could limit the children because it is afflicted. Mars is at 25 degrees in the house of happiness through family. He had a very close relationship. I think he had 5 siblings and very close relationship with his family. rules the career house, placed in that house of family and property. Um, and Mars itself gives abilities as an engineer. He was a scientist, atomic physicist, and also involved in politics. Mercury is at 24 degrees. Remember, it's conjunct Sun. So it's it it gives persuasive speech, and he also gave him ability to be writing books. He wrote many books. Jupiter is at 25 degrees. Remember, it's a functional malefic planet. It is exalted and gives writing and teaching abilities, which he was very good at. And but it is functional malefic, so it limits. It's in this first house of life purpose and longevity, but because it is functional malefic, and it is associated with children, and um, it limits the number of children. He had no children. Venus is at 7 degrees, and it gives ability to write. And he also played the Veena, so any kind of fine arts, performing arts. Um, but it is somewhat weak, and it limits marriage. It represents wife, so he never got married. Saturn is at 24 degrees. Remember, it's functional malefic. Gives a life of service, leader of the masses. Um, Rahu and Ketu are at 12 degrees. They're functional malefic planets at close to the most effective point. And it afflicts children, marriage, desire to teach, gives desire to teach and be involved in politics. Remedies could involve wearing a kavash to strengthen all his other planets, and chants and charities to transform the malefics, the Jupiter, the Saturn, and Rahu and Ketu. Now we'll look at how the planets were operating in his chart. So when he was born into a Saturn period. That planet becomes the root of his tree of life. So Saturn is all about service. So his whole life was helping others, being of service, leader of the masses. In 2002, he became president, and that was during a Mars period, which is supporting his career or ruling his career house. And he died of a heart attack in July 27th, 2015. And that was a Rahu Ketu period. So Rahu Ketu period. And at that time, Moon was transiting the 12th house of death and leaving the body. And Sun was transiting the house of death-like experiences, and Sun represents heart. So it's a very interesting chart. He's an amazing person. Had very inspiring to everyone around him. I was very fortunate to meet him in 2005.